Welcome students, myself P.S. Bakshi, and today we are going through the part 3 of electric potential. Now in the previous videos we have discussed that what is electric potential, what is potential difference and electric potential on a single point charge. And we have also done the units and the dimensional formula of electric potential. Just I am going to remind you something. First of all, what is electric potential? And what is the difference between potential difference? The students got confused between these two quantities. What is electric potential and what is potential difference? First of all, the similarities. They both are potential and they both are having same units and same dimensional formula. Obviously, the formula is always going to be potential is work upon charge, and similar thing here, potential is work upon charge. Now, what is the difference between electric potential and potential difference? Now, if we bring a positive 1 unit charge from infinity to a particular point, if we bring a positive 1 unit charge from infinity to a particular point, then at that point there is going to be electric potential. Obviously, the units are very simple. SI units are because of work, joule, because of charge, so joule per coulomb, and commonly known as volt. Now, what is potential difference? Now, if we bring a positive unit charge from a particular point, let's suppose A, to a particular point B. Now, if we bring a positive unit charge from point A to point B, then the potential is going to be potential difference, which can be taken as VBA, which is again work upon charge. You can see it's a similar kind of thing, but now you can write it as VB minus VA is equal to work upon charge, or you can say potential. The units and dimensional formula and all the things are going to be same. The difference is here, if we are taking the potential between 2 points, if you bring a positive unit charge from one point to another point, then the potential difference is going to be happen here. But if we bring the positive unit charge from infinity to a particular point, then that potential is known as electric potential. That is the difference between them. Now, the expression we have done in previous video, the expression for potential is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R. So that is going to be the formula for potential which we have done in previous video. Now, one more thing. The next important topic is equipotential surfaces. Now, what is equipotential surfaces? I am going to raise that. So, equipotential surfaces are the surfaces on which at every point the potential is going to be same. So, which means if we take any surface, let's suppose that is a surface, so the potential at every point is going to be V, suppose V. So which means that surface is known as equipotential surface. Equi means equal, so equal potential at all the surfaces known as equipotential surface. So it's very easy. But the equipotential surfaces are of two types. Two types means one in a strong electric field, or you can say uniform electric field, and one is at a point charge. Now, if we have a uniform electric field, now what is uniform electric field? If the electric lines are parallel and equally spaced. So, I try to draw lines which are parallel and equally spaced. So, hope I'm succeeding in that. So that is a uniform electric field. Now, uniform electric field, in any uniform electric field, the equipotential surfaces a right angle planes. So which means the lines passing through them at right angle, you can say. The lines passing through them at right angle. So that is the correct way to answer that. So in any uniform electric field, the equipotential surfaces are always at right angle. Just like pyracing anything, if that these are the electric lines, then the electric potential is behave like the plane which is perpendicular to the electric lines. So that is known as equipotential surfaces. That is for uniform electric field. So let's say for a point charge. Now suppose a point charge plus Q we have. So obviously if that is a source charge, so that is generating a field. So just like a source charge, it is generating a field. Now the potential is just going to be like that. So which means electric potential from a source charge, we can show it by this diagram. So electric potential is always going to be as a concentric circles which are having common center of the source charge. So these are the two descriptions of equipotential surfaces. One is for uniform electric field and the another is for any source charge. And the next is the properties of equipotential surfaces. It is also very important. Now we are moving for the properties of equipotential surfaces. Before that, you have the knowledge of electric potential gradient. So I am just going to solve a small topic for electric potential gradient, which is also very important. So which means the electric potential gradient is, so the heading is electric field as potential gradient. So it's a similar kind of thing. Now if we have a source charge here, let's say Q, and now we have 2 points, one is A and one is B, which are at a dr distance apart, you can say. Okay, so now if the electric field is moving, so obviously the electric field is moving from positive to negative, whatever. So the force is going to be, yes, if we are moving a test charge, so the force is going to be Q naught into E, because electric field is force upon charge. So force is equal to test charge into electric field. Mark this as equation 1 if you want to. So that these 2 points should be closer, that they move in the same electric field. So point A and B should be in same electric field, which means they are so close that they are experiencing same electric field. Now, what is going to be the work done from bringing a charge, test charge from A to B? Obviously, the work done from A to B, yes, this small work done is force, yes, into displacement. We have done in 10 plus 1. Work done is force into displacement. So obviously A vector dot B vector is going to be F dr cos theta. Now the force is against the work done, so which means the theta and force are going to be anti-parallel. So theta is 180 and cos 180 is minus 1. So, and using equation 1 as well. Now what's in equation 1? That is the value of f. So which means the value of f is going to be q naught e, and cos theta is going to be -1. So which means now we are moving the test charge here. So which means work done upon test charge is equal to E into dr, negative symbol comes in front. So now work upon charge is potential. So therefore dV upon dr is going to be, this negative symbol shifts to the left hand side. Now that is known as potential gradient. And one smart work for you, for every gradient you can have a pressure gradient, whatever, and if you want to have so many gradients in future study as well, every gradient is divided by the displacement, and 99% we are taking it as a negative. Now we have proved that the formula for electric field is a rate of change of potential by the displacement. So rate of change of potential by the displacement. So that is known as potential gradient topic, and that's very important, and this formula should be in your list as well, because that formula we are going to use in the further topics as well. So hope you understand that. Now we are moving for the properties of equipotential surfaces. The properties of equipotential surfaces are, now the first property, no work is done from bringing a test charge from one point to another. Now, what it means, the first property of equipotential surfaces, no work is done in bringing a test charge from one point to another. So which means if we are bringing a test charge from one point to another, so which can create a potential difference. Now what is potential difference? That is work upon charge. But equipotential surfaces, we have come through the statement of that equipotential surfaces, because of equipotential surfaces the potential should be seen at each and every point of the surface. So which means VB is equal to VA. So therefore this thing comes as 0. So which means work upon charge, and which means work is equal to 0. That's how we can prove that property. No work is done in bringing a test charge from one point to another. So that's how we can prove that for equipotential surfaces, because equipotential surfaces means there's no potential difference. The potential at each and every point is going to be same. So which means we have the answer as no work is done for bringing a test charge from one point to another in any equipotential surface. Now the next property. The next property is, so we can prove it here. So the element, the distance element is always going to be at right angle. So which means according to potential gradient, now we have done that. So we are taking just modulus of that, that is dV upon dr. Because we are not going to take that negative symbol here. So which means the potential is going to be E into dr. Now, because potential is a scalar quantity, but electric field and displacement both are vector quantities. So we can also take it as E dot dr vector. But mind you, the potential is going to be a scalar quantity. Potential is having a definite direction. It's always moved from high to lower, but it is not a vector quantity because it's not going through any vector algebra, which means it's not following any parallelogram law of vector addition, or you can say triangular law of vector addition. It's simply using simple mathematics. So that's why the potential is a scalar quantity. Now E dot dr, now potential is taken as work upon charge. Now here is E dot dr. Now what is work upon charge? We know that at equipotential surfaces the work done is always going to be 0. So which means E dot dr is going to be 0, and you can solve it by E dr cos theta is going to be 0. For this the theta is going to be 0 degree. So how? Theta is going to be, cos theta is going to be 0. When cos theta is 0? When theta is going to be 90 degree. That's how we can prove that in any equipotential surfaces, the displacement element and electric field both are at a right angle. We have already proved that in the previous diagram. The electric lines of force which are parallel, but the potential is always going to be at right angle. So that's how we can prove that. Now for the third property, you can say, so that's also solved on the formula of potential gradient. If E is equal to dV upon dr, so which means E is proportional to 1 upon dr. Or you can say E is proportional to 1 upon, inversely proportional to radius, you can say, or proportional to 1 by r. So which means for a particular source charge, if these are going to be the radius of concentric circles, so which means if the radius is going to be higher, the electric field is going to be lower. So which means the outer side circles are having low electric field as compared to the inner side circles. So which means the radius is always going to be inversely proportional to electric field. That is the third property. Fourth property is very easy. Fourth property says that two equipotential surfaces cannot cross each other. Now, we have done in that topic in electric field of lines. If two surfaces cross each other, then at the common point there are going to be two directions, which is not possible practically. So which means two equipotential surfaces cannot cross each other. And the last point, which is the easiest of all, so the electric potential at all the surfaces of equipotential surfaces going to be same. So these are the 5 properties of equipotential surfaces. First property, the work done is 0. Second property, the angle between electric field and displacement element is always going to be 90 degree. Third, so electric field is always inversely proportional to radius of concentric circles formed by source charge. And the fourth is two surfaces cannot cross each other. And the last one, the potential at each and every point on the equipotential surface is always going to be constant or same. So these are the topics for equipotential surfaces, and this is very important. Now we are moving ahead for the next topic. The next topic is electric potential due to electric dipole on axial line. So that's also very important. We have done similar kind of topic for the electric field. Now we are moving for the same, nearby the same topic for the electric potential. So let's suppose a dipole here. Now what is dipole? If we are having two equal but opposite charges, so let's say the distance between them is 2a. Let's take A and B point here. Let's take a middle point of dipole is O. So that is taken as A, that is also taken as A, and that is going to be the axial line. Now what is axial line? The axial line is that line which we can draw with the extension of the electric dipole. So let's say here our observation point P. From O to P, the distance is, let's suppose the distance is going to be R. Now how we can solve that? It's a similar kind of thing. You have to write the construction, but I am doing it shortly for you, the construction. So let's say OP is equal to R, and now what is going to be AP? AP is going to be R plus A, and what is going to be BP? BP is going to be R minus A. Now see the diagram. Now what is AP? For at point O, that is R and that is A. So AP is going to be R plus A, and similarly what is BP? So that is R and minus A, we got the value of BP. So which means AP and BP values are there. Now how we can solve the electric potential? Now electric potential is very simple. Now electric potential due to point A. So at point A we have a negative charge, so let's suppose that is going to be V1. So the formula for that, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Now minus Q. Now what is the distance here? So that is going to be AP. So that should be marked as equation number 1. So the main point is here, we have to take the polarity of charge here, because a negative and a positive charge can make high or lower potential, whatever. So which means whenever we have to take the polarity, that can change the value of potential. So in the case of potential, we should always take the positive or negative symbol of the charge. So that is a tip for you. Now electric potential due to point B. So let's say that is taken as V2. Now what is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught? Now we have to take a charge Q here, so which means that can be taken as the value of BP, equation number 2. Because potential is scalar quantity. So we are not going to the directions, because potential is a scalar quantity. The total potential is going to be the sum of the two potentials because of A and B. Now just putting that values here. Now what is the value of V1? So that is going to be 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught minus Q. Now what is the value of AP? That is going to be R plus A, plus 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon what is the value of BP here? So that is the value is taken as R minus A. So now we are going to take the common values here. So which means the potential is going to be, so you can take Q as well. Now what's in the bracket now? So 1 upon R minus A, 1 upon R plus A. So that is 1 upon R plus A and 1 upon R minus A. So now solve it very easily. So we are just taking LCM here. So R minus A, or you can say into R plus A. So that is going as R plus A minus R minus A. So by opening these brackets, now A minus B and A plus B, R square minus A square. Now when we open that bracket, R plus A minus R plus A, this R is going to cancel out. Now what you left with? 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q into A plus A is 2A R square minus A square. And what is Q into 2A? Either charge into dipole length is electric dipole moment. So which means the answer is going to be 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught P upon R square minus A square. And that is answer for your topic. So that's very easy. That is the topic for axial line. So that is the topic for axial line. For for the electric potential due to electric dipole. So you can also write the special case of that if R is far greater than A, so then you can neglect A square. So that is very simple for you, okay? So that is the topic for the axial line. Now we are moving for the last topic of electric potential, that is electric potential due to equatorial line. So and it's very easy for you, okay? So I'm just going to raise that, okay? So the last topic of today and electric potential is going to be the electric potential due to electric dipole on the equatorial line. Now what is equatorial line? If that is minus q, that is positive q. So the line passing normally through the middle point of the dipole is known as equatorial line. So we are now just supposing a point P here. So obviously if that is taken as R, that is taken as A, that is also taken as A. So because that is perpendicular, so by Pythagoras theorem, you can easily have that value. So that is going to be R square plus A square square root. R square plus A square square root. And it's the easiest of all the topics. Now, equatorial line. The potential due to equatorial line on the electric dipole. So now this is going to be very easy. Now potential, electric potential due to point A, let's take that as V1 now. So which is going to be 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught minus q. Because of this minus q, the distance is going to be under root R square plus A square. Now electric potential due to point B is given by V2, which is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught and positive q, and the distance is going to be same because these distances are same from point A and B. So it's easy. Therefore, total potential is going to be V1 plus V2. That is equation 1, that is equation 2. But these two values are equal. So which means 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught minus q under root R square plus A square plus 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught to q under root R square plus A square. These values are going to be cancelled out, which means the potential is going to be 0 on the equatorial line. Always remember that the electric potential is always going to be 0 on the equatorial line of the electric dipole. So that's all the topics for now, and we have done today the definitions of potential difference, the electric potential, the potential gradient, the equivalent surfaces, the two types of potential surfaces, and then the properties, 5 properties of equipotent surfaces, then the potential due to axial line and the potential due to equatorial line. And if you want to solve electric potential energy, electric potential energy, so that is also going to be very simple topic for you. So you know potential, electric potential due to Q1 is going to be 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 upon R. Now you all know what is electric field, that is force upon charge. So which means if you want to calculate the value for that, then you have to go for the next charge Q2. So which means if you want to calculate the value for that, or you can go through the potential gradient. So the potential gradient is always going to be dV is equal to E into dr. So which means how we can solve that? So by putting the value of potential is work upon charge. So if we are taking that charge as Q2, so work done is equal to Q2 into V. Now putting the value of V from here, by putting the value of V from here, you can have the value of work done, and this work done is stored as potential energy, which means the formula for potential is going to be 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R. So that is the formula for electric potential energy. You can solve it from the formula of potential. Okay, so that's it for today, and stay healthy and enjoy your holidays and study daily better. Thank you so much.